Slowly, we have this 4, 5. So the first eighth note is not played staccato. That's the first unmuted eighth note, like that. And then that one is staccato, and the next one as well. So make sure you're keeping those notes short. So the other thing to point out, make sure you're getting this grace note. It's in the second bar. So first bar, right there. So the next section we have to talk about is just a variation on what we were doing. So as I talked about before, we're taking this basic idea that was, and then it got busier, and then we're adding melody. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make it even busier on top of our melody. So what we're going to have is at the end of the bar, that. So that is palm muted. We're going to do 0, 3, 5 with hammer-ons, and then 3, 5. So it's a sextuplet thing for the first 3 notes, then 2 16th notes. So I'll just play through this whole thing so you can hear what's going on. So it's like I said, it's just a little variation. I'll do it slow in case you need it slow. We get. So now we're to the intro, back to the intro. But we don't play the intro, of course, the same as we played it before. We're going to play the 4 bars that make up the intro 4 times. So that's a total of 16 bars there. And then we're going to do a little transitional part that's it's similar to what we were doing with the last riff and its variations. We're just adding busier stuff to this riff to build up intensity, anticipation, and all of that. So we're building towards some sort of next part, for lack of a better way to explain it. So again, to recap the intro, let's put a delay back on and get a count. Alright, so then our variation part that we're going to go into is this. Alright, so it's just a measure that repeats. I'll do it slow. I'll turn the delay off since it's not going to line up now. So we're keeping keeping everything palm muted except for, again, that C note on the 3rd string is coming out. And then this last time, instead of doing the, we're going to do and get a little bit of a pinched harmonic there. So that last bar will be, and then we're back into, alright, so now let's move on to what we have next. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play for you the next 4 bars, and then those 4 bars are kind of transitional and lead us into another part. So we get this. So we're doing notes on the 5th string with palm muted pedal notes on the 6th string like this. So I'm going to switch to clean, and I'm going to play this all without palm muting, and I'll do it slow. So is the 1st bar. Now moving on to the 2nd bar. Alright, now here's the next bar. It's the same as the 1st, actually. Now the next bar is where it changes up. We get... So we're still in 5/4, and we get... and then we're into the next part of the song, which is, it's a 2-measure thing that repeats. We get this. So it's a cool rhythm because you'd expect it to just, you're not expecting it to be in 5, so the way that that one measure leads into the next is kind of interesting. You'd expect it to do something like that, but it does. Alright, so that happens twice, like I said. It's a 2-bar thing that happens twice, and then we're going to play those chords up here. And then eventually that turns into 5-note chords. So the riff, the 2-bar riff with the 4-string power chords, these guys, we're going to do that once, so... And then the next time, we do this. So that E-flat, flat 5 chord, we're going to go into 5-string power chords. And we get this. We're gonna go up instead of going down, like that. So let's go through this whole section where we come off of the the verse. So we get. And then we're into our the main riff, not the main, the first heavy riff, but we're not gonna play it like just totally like aggressive, because dynamically at this point in the song we're kind of at like a low point. So. Then we do the, excuse me, our transitional thing. And then we've got the A to B thing. And it might be easier in this case to play the A to B up here with the open string to first fret instead of up here. So going into the chorus. That's the rhythm that he's doing. And then we get this. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So I'll switch to clean so I can talk over that. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So these are the big 5-string power chords played in between 3-string open Ds. And then the first 2 bars repeat. Alright, so that's that part. Let's continue on with this beast and let's finish it out. So I'll play the whole outro. We've got some rhythm stuff to talk about, so I'll play it. So that's the ending there. And you'll probably, if you're like me, you'll probably spend as much time practicing the last 2 bars as you did playing the entire rest of the song, because it's pretty tough. So before that part, we get we're in 5/4 still, so we get is our riff. So slowly we get. So that last bit there is sextuplets into C to D. So that repeats 3 times. Then the last time it's a bar of 4/4, so we're not doing the at the end. We just do. And then we're into 4/4 for the rest of the song. So the last bit is, I'll play it for you clean, and I'll do it real slow. We get. So that we're gonna do that twice for the first bar. And then for the next bar we get. Like that. So it's the really difficult thing with this is like I find it really easy to play without palm muting, but the palm muting with slurs this fast, you're going to have a tendency, it's not going to feel the same, so your slurs are going to be a little bit uneven, and you need to slow it down and practice it. Like that, and just do the metronome crawl while you're... So even there, I screwed it up a little bit slow. And so that's a decent 8th note pulse to work up to. And that's about tempo. So put this all together again, we get this. Make sure that your right hand is keeping going. If you make a little tiny mistake with the left hand, it's not going to be the end of the world. If one of your slurs gets to be a little bit uneven, just keep that right hand steady so you're getting those attacks going with where the bass player is doing the attacks as well. And you can kind of pick up the palm muting on the last one a little bit to give a little more dramatic effect. Now, one thing that I want to say about this is with that fast sextuplet part, for me the key is to not think at all. The minute that I think about what my hands are doing, it's too much for my brain to handle, and it just... I screw it up. The slurs get a little bit uneven, and rhythmically it doesn't sound so tight. So I don't know. That's my advice for you. That's what works for me with this kind of stuff, is to just not think and just be on complete muscle memory and autopilot. And the way to get there with this kind of thing is to just start real slow with a metronome and just do this kind of... type thing really slow, and even if you feel comfortable doing it at a faster tempo, like definitely start real slow, because it's the muscle memory that you need to develop from practicing slowly. So I started about that tempo, and then set the 8th note as your click and build up from there. Alright, so I am Matt Brown. This has been Vicarious by Tool. This one is a beast. I'm going to say the trick, or the difficult thing to playing this song, there's not technically a whole lot of difficult things. It's the memorization. So if I'm trying to get this song memorized, or a song like this memorized, in the shortest amount of time possible, what I like to do is actually, I'm not just spending the time memorizing with a guitar in my hands. What I like to do to memorize this type of thing is to write down the form of the song, just on a piece of scrap paper with a pen, pencil, whatever, and just say, okay, like the intro, does the main thing that's 4 bars long, and it does it this many times, and then it ends. And make sure that you can write down all this stuff, all the little variations that you have to remember. Make sure that you can write all this stuff down. And I feel like if you can write it down and you don't have to think about it, you're like, all right, this comes next, and this is the variation on this part. That's just as good of a way as sitting down with your guitar and playing through the song, I think, in terms of memorizing. So, just a little side tip. I find that doing that, it's really boring, but if you're crunched for time and you need to memorize a song, that's the most efficient and economical way with your time to get that done. Alright, so email me for questions and for the transcription. I'm Matt Brown. See you around. Have a good one.